last night. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the president of Dirty Money Records.
Come on, guys, let's talk about this here.
Who you know fresher than Nick? Mommy, you itty bitty can't mirror me, yeah. Everybody gon' see where I'm lyrically at. Used to hate Nicky, now they giving me that. I live and I learn, but I wait my time. I'm always on the run, got weight to burn. Ease off the gas and I make the turn. 3 off the cast, they don't play like her. Why I can't just be ill? Why when they see me, bitches gotta go ill? Why my little niggas still gotta sell real? Mom is hot and still didn't get a deal. The rain and the pain, I done paid my dues. I'm ready for the game, I done lace my shoes. Everything I say, believe I'm gon' do. Came out the coop, the teeth, the tongue, boot. I know you want more. I know you said that all the girls is such a bore. But it's my time, I need y'all to roar. It's my time, I need y'all to roar. If me, there should be no more. It's my time, I need y'all to roar.
What the hell are you waiting for?
Look what you made me do, look what I made for you. Knew when I paid my dues that I would aim for you. Straight to the street for Queens and get a feed. The only thing you know is that I push the beat. Only see the pretty face, how I ride the bass. So I put my hoodie down just to hide my face. They don't see the tears I cry, the fears I hide. Tend to keep my kids inside, it's merely pride. Like my grandmother, one day she next to pop. To the next time I seen her, she would be in a box. Damn, she was right, she was dead right. How was I to know that would be a last night? If I could turn back the time, dear God, somehow people press rewind. Won't come when I call, but it's just in time. So I come when it's court like I'm next in line. When you got something good, why the devil gotta ruin it? You should never know I be the best bitch doing it.
Tired of being what you want me to be. Feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me.
Whoever's out there, come on in.
Under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. And every second I waste is more than I can take. I become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. Become so numb.
More.
I become so numb.
It's my time, I need y'all to roar.
You know what I have laid out right here? This is the future of self-education.
The future of self-education.
The autobiography of Nicki Minaj.
Sycamore.
Any of you out there, we're about to have a great conversation today. For my 400 and something followers, let's go.
Daddy with the crack fiend. 2 in the morning had us running down the block like a track team. When you burnt the house down and my mother was in it, how could I forget it? The pain is infinite. She's my queen and I ain't even British. She's the only reason that I went to school and I finished. She told me that I had talent. Got on her knees and prayed for me when I started being violent. She saw something in me that, till this day, I don't know if I could be that. But I'ma die trying. And when I'm done crying, grab the iron and black out like I'm retiring. Nightmares of you killing my mother. The reason that I sleep with my head under the covers. And they should have thrown a buck at you. Cause I hate you so much that it burns when I look at you. Protect me as the work is hectic.
I'll get tired.
My voice projected, my life reflected.
Keep my home.
May the Lord protect me as the work is hectic. My voice projected, my life reflected.
All right, guys, how y'all doing today? I see nobody has come in, but I'm going to start anyway because this is new to me. My first time going live on YouTube. Usually my videos are pre-recorded and uploaded. So I'm trying something new, moving along with the times. You know how that goes. So today's topic, found it very imperative to put this information out there because we are misunderstood as a people, and due to that, people have been mistreating people or disrespecting people or just slighting them based off of your misunderstanding of them. Therefore, I'm presenting this to you. All right, so let's start with the mutable signs. Mutable signs are the zodiac signs. Well, before I get into talking about that, let me say this for the people who are like the church people and people who don't believe in zodiac. I have a history of being abused and not understood in my household. All right, and 1 second. And I never understood why I was misunderstood. So that led me to getting into zodiac. What I've learned as a teenager were that the grown-ups that was around me didn't understand me because they weren't either my mutable sign or in the group that I was in. My mother and my grandmother were both Libras. They were cardinal, they were air sign, but they were cardinal Libras. My uncle who abused me and my sister were both Aquarius. Those two also signs. Uncle who was a Scorpio, who's a water sign from the fixed group. I was the only Sagittarian, the only fire sign, the only mutable sign in my family. So I was horribly misunderstood, abused for it, disrespected for it, you name it. So let me go on to talk about the mentioned immutable signs. Mutable signs are Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, and Virgo. Those are the mutable signs. The challenge with us is because our nature is predominantly adaptable, immutable. If we don't know who we are, we're not grounded, we're constantly wish-washy and adapting to things so long as we understand it. We can't help that. That is our core nature. All right. The thing with fixed signs, the fixed signs are Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. Fixed signs are unwavering. They don't budge. Out of the 4 fixed signs, Aquarius and Leo are adaptable to new information because they love different information. So they'll make that work for them. However, their core nature is unwavering. When they stand for something and say something, it's pretty much what it is, and there's no falter or wavering, okay? The cardinal signs, which are Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer, those signs speak and do things from the me factor, the I factor. So their stance are pretty much unwavering so long as it's anything that's outside of the me or the I factor, their stance will not waver. So it's pretty much what it is. What you see is what you get from the people who are in those 2 groups, right? The mutable signs, which are, again, Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. Our nature is predominantly adaptable. So what happens is we adapt to any system that we understand and that we think works and is positive. We will adapt to that system, not realizing that we can also lose our way. Mutable signs are the people that many people think are fake, phony, wish-washy. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. You know, they act one way in front of this person, act another way in front of that person, or they're this way at this corporation or at this job and this way at this environment. It's because our nature is predominantly adaptable. Now, it's a positive thing to be able to adapt to people of different backgrounds and relate to people of different backgrounds. However, for the people that are watching, they're confused because they can't understand how we could be one way here and another way here. So they feel like they cannot trust us and that we don't know who we are because they cannot understand who we are when we're this way, that way, and the third. All right. We get a lot of abuse and disagreement and misunderstandings just because of that alone. Now, I know the church have said that Zodiac is the devil, but why I gave you a snippet of my background is because I was affected by people who didn't understand me for that very same thing. And none of us knew anything about the Zodiac. We don't talk about the Zodiac in my house, the house that I grew up in. So no, the Zodiac is not the devil. It is a very real thing. And I stopped by here to tell you that don't allow indoctrination to override people's nature, the nature, human nature. Because human nature is what God created. And that has absolutely nothing to do with religion or what some pastor has said in a church. Okay, I just want to be very, and I'm not against church or any type of religion. So please don't take this as that. However, my whole intent and purpose is to enlighten and empower people. But the only way I see fit to empower people or have people empower themselves is provided that I enlighten to the most or the utmost that I can. I use the gift that God has given me, and I ask to be guided the best way that I can be guided to provide the information so that you can grasp it, understand it, and then do what you have to do to empower yourself out of situations that are toxic and unhealthy for you. Now, in saying that, this is important because we have children that are going to school. We have ourselves that we don't know. There are coworkers. We deal with so many different people, and a lot of times we're frustrated by people because we feel like we cannot control what other people are doing, especially a mutable sign. You cannot control a mutable sign because mutable signs don't know themselves. But a lot of the other people from the other groups don't know themselves either. But however, they do know that when they say something, they stick to what they say and it doesn't change, which is a good thing. Okay, now, in order for a mutable sign to stay grounded, we have to know who we are. And we have to have a principle to stay grounded in, So I learned this at a young age. The things that kept me grounded were ethics, principles that kept me grounded. When I was younger, I was more self-righteous due to the fact that I was abused in many ways. I was against things that I personally was against. And then I've learned that was self-righteous behavior, and it wasn't fair because then I became judgmental of people who did things that were opposite to what I would do. And it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. So I've learned that was wrong. I'm like, okay. So then I dropped the self-righteous and I kept righteous. And I also kept ethics, good ethics, principles, good intention. And it boils down to this. For me, to do no harm. Doing no harm to anyone, that's what keeps me grounded. Philosophy, information, new theory, that is what keeps me focused, not necessarily grounded, but focused. All right. So let me give you some tips on what can ground or what keeps the mutable signs grounded. Earth signs are typically down to earth. Earth signs don't like people that are cocky, loud, seem to be self-absorbed, people who are into themselves, not necessarily in a negative way, but if a Virgo people think that you are all that or think you're all that, Virgos tend to stay away. What keeps Virgos grounded is in being somewhat down to earth. Okay, so much so that could be to their own detriment, because sometimes they are, they stick or connect to people who may not be making the best of decisions because those people appear to be down to earth. However, that's what keep Virgos grounded. Okay, what will keep a Pisces grounded? Pisces love the support. So Pisces is the type of people that can keep a lot of people around them and stay grounded in that because they like the support. Okay. Geminis stay grounded in dictatorship. They like to communicate and teach. So Geminis can be comfortable around a lot of people and stay grounded if they get the opportunity to be dictators in that group. However, Sagittarians, which I am, what grounds us is philosophy and information. So why this video is important is because people tend to think, before I finish with the Sagittarians, people tend to think that if you don't have the skill set to keep a lot of friends and people around, that you're unrelatable or you're not real or you think you're all that. And for the mutable signs, it's a bit of a challenge to be surrounded by so many different people and energies and still stay grounded in who we are. So you will find that many mutable signs may not have a lot of friends or people around them for that very same reason. Okay, so now with Sagittarians, it's a challenge for us because what grounds us is philosophy. And when we're around and people, they're able to receive a lot of information. All right. And then now we still need time to process that information. So that is a very big challenge for us. So to stay grounded and to stay from being pulled from, different sides, we tend to stay away and receive information from a distance. From a distance where we don't have to make decisions right away or show up right away because we need time to process the information. Now, because we need that time to process the information because we want to make, at least for me, I want to make the best decision possible. And in order for me to make the best decision, I have to take all this information that I'm receiving into account. And it's a long process for most mutable signs, including myself. Now, for the other groups, the fixed group and the cardinal group, the cardinal group, I usually call the samurais, the natural born sharpshooters. They're the samurais. They're the ones that once they see a thing to be away or feel away, immediately they respond like that. Those are your Cancers, Capricorns, and Aries and Libra. Out of the four, Capricorns may not be the first to respond in that type of way, depending on the Capricorn. However, that is how they respond to things. So they get information and they respond with the quickness, okay? The thing with that is, because of their quick response, they don't allow themselves to get a lot of information or see things from a broad perspective. So the information that they respond on may be limited information. I'm not saying that it may not be good information, but it may not be all of the information that they could have gotten to make the best decision. So it doesn't mean that, I say this to say that they may not make the best of decisions that they can make due to their quick response. And in some instances they do. However, that's how they make their decisions based off of, they don't allot for a lot of time to have so much go in. They pretty much is grounded in what they're looking for, and they're unwavering to anything outside of that, and they respond off of that. With the fixed group, again, and because again, with the cardinal signs, it's from the me and the I factor. So anything outside of the me and the I, they create a barrier for it, and they respond based off of the information that they need that involves the me and the I factor. The fixed group is grounded in, let's say, my way or the highway. They don't see another way working, right? So and I'm not saying they don't have good plans either, but I'm just giving you a bit of their system and how they process things and how they go about things, where they may be unwavering to new information because the plan they see is the plan that they consider to be the best plan. Anything outside of that plan interferes with their plan, and they have a low tolerance for anything outside of what they've already made their mind up to do, because their plan is already set and they already know what their end goal and end game is. New information is going to cause them to change their end goal to a great extent. So they are unwavering for that. The plan and information that they have, they respond off of that, and that's it. Okay, so it is what it is with the mutable and with the cardinal and the fixed sign. With the mutable signs, we are usually the last to respond to things because, speaking for myself, when I make a decision, I want to make sure that I take everyone into account. It's not just about me, and it's not just about a plan. It's about the philosophy and the information itself. Right? So we try to take everybody into account, which means if I have a plan and you say something outside of what my plan has already covered, I'll take that into consideration because you speak for the people that I haven't covered in my plan. So, and because I want to take everybody into account, I hold myself accountable into taking your perspective into account. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And that's just not for me, that's for most mutable signs, is we're grounded in that philosophy and wanting to take everyone into account. Therefore, when we say things, there's room for debate, or there's room to add more information because we're thinking about everybody. We're thinking about the philosophy, okay? And when people don't understand that, they don't respect it because they think you don't know who you are, and they think you're a follower, and they think we're wishy-washy because they can't say that they know exactly what direction we're going to go in. So again, this information is important because you may have children that's a mutable sign, or a family member, you yourself, your co-workers. It's always, new information won't hurt. New information can only help you make better decisions because of insight. And that's my intentions with this recording. Okay, so that's with mutable signs. The other group of people I want to talk about are empaths. Empaths are very challenging and very interesting people. Now, I'm not talking about the people that say, yeah, I feel you, I can put myself in your shoes and I understand where you're coming from. Yes, that's all well and good. But when I say an empath, a true empath actually feels what you're going through. They feel your energy, they feel your vibration, okay? And when you're born an empath, you don't know that you're an empath. However, you have this ability to feel other people's energy and feel what they're going through. So that means, let me tell you what this means. Let's say you're sitting there right now and you're afraid because you're anxious because you just ran away. Someone tried to rob you and you just broke free of that. And now you're just sitting there and you're anxious and you're thinking about what just happened, and you're afraid and you're uncertain about what happened. And then I come along. I know what happened with you, but I can pick up on your energy that something happened. Outside of your face expressions, I'm also feeling your energy. And because your energy is mixed up with so many different emotions, fear, maybe rage, maybe anger, whatever it is, I don't know what that is that I'm feeling. However, it's shaking me up and it's making me feel uncomfortable. Okay, so then not knowing who I am, I might lash out or respond in a way that may not be pleasant towards you because I'm feeling some type of way that's telling me I'm not safe or something's not right with your energy. And that's what happens when you look at children who are empaths. When they respond in certain ways, it's because they cannot control that. Well, let me just say this. They can, but they cannot control it with the not having information about who they are. So they're just reacting and lashing out in ways that's unpleasant to other people because they're bombarded by other people's energies. And that's amazing. That is, this is something to take serious because we go through a lot of things and we think a lot of things and our energy reflect our thoughts, but we don't speak that. We don't always speak what we're feeling and thinking. However, our energy vibrate our thoughts. And empaths pick up on that. And it's like we get attacked by that. So let me give you an example of what that actually looks like. Have any of you seen the movie The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis and the little kid, the little boy who was able to see Remember, I see dead people and he's afraid and crying and he would run away from the spirits. This is Sage. I lit Palo Santo earlier. Now this is Sage. Okay, so with empaths, it's the same thing. You notice with that boy, he didn't realize that that was a gift that he had to see spirits that had passed away or had died in violent ways or just dead spirits. And he think that they were trying to do something to him because they were communicating with him. But he didn't know that they wanted to communicate with him. All he knows is he sees a scary appearance. They're trying to communicate with him and he's running from them. Okay, so let me tell you what that is. Let's say you're in a warehouse, a dark warehouse. There's 50 people in this warehouse, but none of us know that the other is in there because we can't see each other. It's completely dark. We don't see each other. We don't hear each other. But then there's you all the way down the other end of the warehouse and you got a light bulb on your head. Guess what? Everybody's going to make their way to that part of the warehouse where you are because you have a light bulb on your head and we'll have a head. So when all of us are coming to you, you're like, where's everybody coming from? You know, I didn't ask for, and then we're not explaining why we're coming there. It's because you have the light bulb on your head. You try to figure out what is all these people coming towards me for, right? Well, that's the thing with an empath. With an empath, we're bombarded with other people's energy and vibration. And you already know what that is. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of rage. There's a lot of happy times, good times. Now, that type of happy and good energy is good, you know, but it's the other energy that people feel that vibrate off of them is what confuses us and throws us off. And it makes us feel like we should dash, run for safety because we don't understand what that type of energy is, but our energy is telling us something is not right. And our energy is saying that because actually your energy is telling you something is not right with you, but you know what's not right with you. And your energy is vibrating that. And I'm feeling that something is not right, but I don't know what that is. So I don't know if it's going to be something that like, will something happen to me or what will that be? All I know is that I'm bombarded by energy that's making me feel uncomfortable. And I just gotta go. I gotta go. So that's what happens when you're dealing with true empaths. It's like they get bombarded by this energy and they're picking up on it. And they have no knowledge that they're true empaths and that they can actually feel other people's energy. And they respond and react in ways that is unpleasant or undesirable to their peers. And then they may appear to be crazy by other people that's watching them because it's like, what did that person do to you for you to respond that way? You know, and it's very important that we take this information with a seriousness and start to help rear our children and even ourselves so that we can be great, that they can be great. You know, nothing's wrong with them. They're not crazy. They may just be an empath. They may just be a mutable sign that don't know who they are, and they're getting pulled in different directions from different people and different energy. And I hope this information served you well, and I hope you can make good use of it, because that was my intention. And please empower, enlighten your family, and empower your family, and move forward in life. Okay. Until next time, you enjoy your life. Have a great day and peace.